What if I told you Hollywood's most perfect couple just exploded into the biggest parental scandal the industry has seen since well ever? What if I told you the woman known for her icy elegance and red carpet royalty just marched into court and sued her own husband because a DNA test revealed the kind of truth that wipes out entire careers in a single afternoon? And what if I told you the girl they raised for 16 years? Sunday Rose, the child Nicole Kidman once called her greatest gift, is biologically connected to someone Nicole never expected, never suspected, and never forgave? Because today, the story isn't about fame or fortune or a glamorous power couple. No, today's headline is the kind that makes Hollywood PR teams sprint out of their offices and dive straight into crisis mode. Nicole Kidman sues Keith Urban after DNA confirms Maggie Baugh is Sunday Rose's real dad. Yes, real dad. Not alleged, not rumored, confirmed. So how did a quiet DNA test turn into Nicole filing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, Maggie Baugh trembling in court, and Keith Urban's entire brand collapsing like a cheap stage prop? How did hush money payments, rehearsal room footage, and years of hidden transactions blow the lid off a secret Keith thought he'd buried forever? Buckle up, because the truth didn't just leak, it detonated. Hollywood scandals usually come with predictable ingredients: infidelity, hidden addictions, a secret Vegas wedding nobody remembers signing, but this one started with a DNA test kit that was supposed to quietly confirm family peace. Instead, it torpedoed one of Hollywood's most carefully manufactured love stories. And the crazy part? The first crack didn't appear in some messy tabloid leak or anonymous gossip blog. It happened in a private courtroom, under fluorescent lights, in front of a judge who looked like he'd seen 100 scandals, but absolutely none like this. Nicole Kidman entered that courtroom the way only Nicole can, calm, collected, and dressed like someone attending a red carpet funeral. Meanwhile, Keith Urban, Mr. Charm, Mr. Honey-voiced heartthrob, looked like a man praying for an electrical outage. And Maggie Baugh, she sat 3 rows behind them, wearing the exact expression of someone who accidentally pressed reply all on the wrong email and destroyed her entire life in one click. But let's rewind. Because the world didn't wake up one morning and suddenly discover that Sunday Rose, the kid Nicole raised, loved, protected, and publicly adored, wasn't actually her biological daughter. No. This drama began with whispers. Small things. Odd things. Things most families ignore but celebs can't, because one wrong move and the whole internet screams conspiracy. It started when Sunday Rose needed medical clearance for a film project she wanted to audition for. Routine, simple, just a basic genetic screening. But when the doctor casually mentioned inconsistencies, Nicole's eyebrow allegedly twitched. Urban families might ignore suspicious payments, deleted messages, and secret rehearsals, but Nicole Kidman never ignores science. So she ordered a private DNA test. Not through a regular lab, through a high-profile, hush-hush, ultra-secure Hollywood forensic service, the kind celebrities use when they suspect a manager stole royalties or a spouse stole. Well, something else. And when those results came back, boom. 0% maternity from Nicole. 0. Not partial. Not uncertain. 0. And for Keith Urban? The test didn't connect him to Sunday Rose either. Not one biological marker. Instead, the results pointed straight at Maggie Baugh, country singer, rising star, Keith's longtime creative collaborator, and apparently the lead actress in a secret real-life soap opera. If Nicole was stunned, she didn't show it. According to an insider who swears they weren't bribed to talk, Nicole simply slid the documents into her purse, stood up, and said, "Call the liars." Boom. Ice Queen activated. But Keith? He fell apart. Because he knew. He always knew. And the signs had been there for years. Late-night rehearsals that didn't make sense. Business trips that started lasting longer and longer. And let's not forget the time he conveniently lost his phone, only for Maggie to mysteriously deactivate her Instagram hours later. Coincidence? Please. Hollywood has better coincidences in B-movies. Once the DNA bomb dropped, everything unraveled at lightning speed. Nicole's team subpoenaed hotel footage, rehearsal studio logs, and even Keith's private iCloud backups. And that's when the real mess spilled out. Money transfers to Maggie labeled consulting, late-night messages that were definitely not about music, and a bank trail that looked less like professional collaboration and more like hush money installments. The internet smelled blood instantly. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, everything exploded. Fans began digging into old interviews. Clips resurfaced where Maggie seemed a little too emotional around Keith. Photos emerged from backstage events where they stood too close, smiled too wide, looked too comfortable. It all recontextualized into a giant neon sign flashing. They were hiding something, but the most heartbreaking moment came from Sunday herself. Sources say she overheard Nicole whispering to lawyers about the maternity report. And when Sunday asked, "Did I do something wrong?" Nicole reportedly broke down for the first time in years. Sunday wasn't mad. She wasn't angry. She was confused and scared because the life she thought she understood suddenly felt like a movie where someone swapped scripts halfway through. And then came the courtroom scene that changed everything. The judge read the results out loud, first Nicole's, then Keith's, then Maggie's. Nicole remained stone still. Keith's face collapsed. Maggie started shaking so hard the bailiff asked if she needed water. The courtroom fell silent, no gasps, no whispers, just the heavy, suffocating truth thudding through the air like a dropped piano. That's when Nicole did the most Nicole thing possible. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She didn't demand explanations. She simply looked at Keith for one long, terrifying second and whispered something only those in the front row could hear. "You lied to me." For 16 years, Keith reportedly whispered back, "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." And then Nicole turned away because she'd already decided what came next: a lawsuit, a war, and a public reckoning Keith Urban did not see coming, because if the DNA test was the fuse, Nicole Kidman was the detonator. And just as the tension snapped tight enough to break, that's exactly where the next phase of this scandal begins. The very moment Nicole stepped out of that courtroom, the entire scandal mutated from a private betrayal to a full-scale Hollywood meltdown. And the craziest part? Nobody knew the full truth yet. The public had only seen the spark Nicole's lawsuit filing, but behind those sealed documents was an inferno so wild that even industry insiders were whispering, "This might be the end of Keith Urban's career." And trust me, they weren't exaggerating. Because as soon as Nicole's legal team released the first wave of court-approved evidence, the footage, the financials, the hidden messages, the internet did what the internet always does best. It put Keith Urban and Maggie Baugh under the world's largest, brightest, most judgmental magnifying glass. Every rumor became a theory. Every theory became a trend. And every trend became a public verdict. Within hours, #Keith Urban cancelled was climbing the charts faster than any of his singles had in the last decade. But let's talk about the leaked investigative findings, because this is where things get deliciously messy. First came the hotel footage. Not grainy security camera blur. Real footage. Clear enough to see Keith checking into a Nashville hotel under the pseudonym John Harfield, a name so uncreative that even the internet clowned him for it. Minutes later, Maggie Baugh entered through the side door, sunglasses on, hoodie up, acting like the world's worst undercover agent. They weren't holding hands. They weren't kissing. They weren't even interacting romantically. But the timestamps didn't lie. And neither did the room number. Both booked the same suite. Then came the rehearsal room clips leaked by anonymous production staff who definitely weren't paid off by someone on Nicole's team. These weren't just casual rehearsals. These were late-night studio sessions where Keith and Maggie were seen whispering in corners, sharing private jokes, and in one clip, sitting close enough on the piano bench to make even the camera uncomfortable. One clip had audio low, muffled, but clear enough to catch Keith saying, "We'll fix it before anyone notices." Fix what, Keith? Asked the DNA test. The iCloud messages were the final nail in the coffin. Apple's security might be ironclad, but celebrities? Oh, their passwords are not. Music for life. Really, Keith, really? Once those backups dropped, the world saw everything: flirty texts, late-night confessions, coded conversations about keeping Sunday protected, and the worst part, Maggie asking, "Do you think she suspects anything?" Nicole fans worldwide nearly combusted reading that line. Screenshots circulated like wildfire, with Twitter users adding captions like, "Sis, she knows now," but the most damaging leak didn't come from technology. It came from a human, an alleged insider who gave a confidential statement to a gossip outlet. This anonymous source claimed Maggie had confessed to close friends that she regretted everything and that Keith promised to take responsibility someday. The source even added, Maggie was terrified Nicole would find out. She always said Nicole doesn't lose, and oh boy, she was right. Public reaction? Explosive doesn't even begin to cover it. Fans dug up old award show footage where Nicole politely avoided hugging Maggie. Suddenly, people claimed Nicole always knew something was off. TikTok detectives made entire timelines connecting Keith's career decline with guilt stress. Reddit threads with titles like Keith Urban, The Secret Double Life, hit millions of clicks. Country music fans began dragging Maggie online, calling her the home-wrecking fiddler, while others defended her, saying she was too young and manipulated. But the most dramatic moment came when fake audio allegedly captured from backstage began circulating online. The clip featured a woman sounding suspiciously like Maggie, saying it was only supposed to be one night, and a man with Keith's exact tone replying, "We can't undo it now." Was it real? Probably not. Was it viral? Absolutely yes. The clip hit 6 million views in 12 hours, and Maggie had to release a shaky Instagram story saying, "This is not me," which only made people more convinced it actually was. Then came the financial corruption. Investigative blogs dug into Maggie's accounts and found unexplained deposits $3,000 to $5,000 at random intervals. Payments Keith labeled as support, studio expenses, and the worst one, medical. Internet analysts practically foamed at the mouth analyzing this. Some claimed it was prenatal support. Others said it was payment for silence. One particularly savage tweet read, "Keith out here sending hush money like it's Netflix subscription fees. Keith tried to do damage control." His PR team released a statement saying Keith Urban deeply values his family and asks for privacy during this challenging time. Privacy? During the biggest scandal of the decade? Social media laughed that statement into oblivion. Meanwhile, Maggie attempted her own cleanup. She posted a black and white selfie with the caption, "The truth will come out." Oh, sweetheart. It already has. Comments flooded in. "Girl, delete this. Not you playing victim. Truth?" Nicole already printed it out and handed it to the judge. Sunday Rose became the center of public sympathy. Fans made edits with sad music. TikTokers made emotional tributes. The public collectively decided Sunday was Hollywood's most betrayed child. And honestly, they weren't wrong. As each leak intensified, Nicole's silence became even louder. She didn't deny anything. She didn't confirm anything. She didn't even post a cryptic quote on social media. And that silence made the world wait, watch, and hold its breath, because if all this was just the leak, everyone knew the explosion was coming next. And when it hit, it shattered everything. The dust had barely settled, but the wreckage was everywhere. Nicole Kidman wasn't just suing a man, she was exposing an empire of secrets that stretched from hotel rooms to recording studios, from private iCloud messages to offshore accounts. The lawsuit wasn't a quiet legal maneuver. It was a declaration of war. Keith Urban, once the poster boy of charming country rock cool, was now under the harshest scrutiny Hollywood could muster. Every endorsement, every collaboration, every brand deal he'd ever taken suddenly looked like a ticking liability. Streaming platforms froze upcoming releases. Sponsors quietly distanced themselves. His Instagram remained live, but the engagement plummeted like a stock market crash. Meanwhile, the FBI allegedly began looking into financial discrepancies tied to Maggie Baugh. Remember those hush money payments Keith allegedly made? Some insiders claimed they were funneled through charitable donations that now might fall under federal investigation. It was a labyrinth of secrets, bank trails, and NDA letters that even seasoned agents described as a masterclass in deception. The more investigators dug, the more the scandal snowballed, pulling in names, numbers, and transactions no one thought would surface. Nicole's lawyers were quietly sharing redacted versions of evidence with press contacts, further fueling the frenzy without ever saying a word themselves. Hollywood had never seen anything like this. The commas star creating the loudest storm, public backlash intensified daily. Twitter trends shifted from curiosity to outrage. Hashtag Keith exposed. Hashtag Maggie lies. Hashtag Nicole deserves truth. Fans weren't just talking, they were acting. Digital petitions demanded Keith step down from public appearances. Memes depicted him as a cartoon villain running from DNA test results. Meanwhile, Maggie's social media posts, meant to explain her side, only amplified the chaos. Every apology was dissected, every photo questioned. Reddit threads chronicled the 16 years of lies in obsessive detail. And Sunday Rose, the emotional epicenter of this scandal, became the human face of betrayal and innocence lost. Clips of her emotional therapy sessions, carefully leaked by insiders sympathetic to Nicole, went viral with captions like, "Not blood. Love makes a mother." Audiences around the world collectively mourned the child who unknowingly became the linchpin of a global story. Keith's legal strategy reportedly began to unravel under pressure. Multiple attorneys consulted and secrecy suggested he might attempt a settlement, but Nicole's team wasn't having it. This wasn't about money anymore. This was about truth, justice, and accountability. Courtroom insiders whispered that Nicole had prepared a multi-million-dollar damages claim citing parental fraud, emotional exploitation, and relationship concealment, effectively turning Keith's own misdeeds into a public expose. And the best part? Even if Keith attempted to negotiate a settlement, the evidence already leaked had made public opinion and the court of social media his worst enemy. There was no coming back from this. Then came the shocker everyone had been waiting for. Sealed documents hinted at a hidden Hollywood ledger, a compilation of hush payments, debt clauses, and charity fund allocations. Word on the street? FBI agents were reportedly examining these files for potential fraud and money laundering. For years, Keith had allegedly managed the delicate balance of keeping Maggie paid, Sunday's parentage secret, and Nicole oblivious. Now, all those secret transactions were like dominoes ready to fall. The rumor mill suggested the ledger contained references to celebrity friends, record executives, and even studio managers who knowingly turned a blind eye. Hollywood insiders joke grimly, "This isn't a scandal, it's a masterclass in deception." And Nicole? She remained the calm eye in the hurricane. Unlike Keith and Maggie, she didn't post emotional videos. She didn't run to talk shows. She let the evidence speak for itself. Every leak, every viral clip, every trending hashtag worked in her favor. The quiet, calculated composure she displayed only intensified public fascination. Nicole had turned herself into the narrative's moral compass, a figure of poise who allowed the guilty parties to implode spectacularly around her. And in doing so, she reclaimed the role she had always been denied: protector, mother, and architect of truth. Mother and architect of truth. By the time a video reached its climax in court, it was no longer just a family drama, it was a full-blown public reckoning. Speculation ran rampant about Keith's career trajectory, Maggie's future in the music industry, and the legal consequences that could follow. Some analysts even predicted multi-million-dollar settlements, resignations from endorsements, and federal probes into previously hidden transactions. The media circus surrounding this case was relentless, and social media showed no mercy. Every day felt like another episode in a Hollywood thriller, complete with plot twists, character betrayals, and emotional roller coasters that made soap operas look tame. And yet, through all the chaos, the core of the story remained intimate, personal, and devastating. A child who believed she had a mother and father, a woman who gave everything to love that child, and a man who built a secret life that destroyed the trust at the heart of that family. Nicole Kidman's lawsuit, explosive as it was, became more than just legal action. It became a statement, a public declaration that truth, however painful, cannot be buried forever. As the dust continues to settle, one thing is clear: Hollywood will never forget this story. Keith Urban, Maggie Baugh, Sunday Rose, and Nicole Kidman have become symbols of betrayal, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of justice. The world has watched secrets explode, reputations crumble, and lives change overnight. And the only certainty in this swirling chaos is that the truth once revealed has a power that no amount of charm, fame, or hush money can contain. The next chapter of this story is still unwritten. But one thing is guaranteed: when Nicole chooses to play her final card, the world will be watching. And nobody, not Keith, not Maggie, not even the Hollywood elite, will be able to look away. So, what do you think about this Hollywood bombshell? Could Keith Urban survive the fallout? Or is his career officially over? Will Maggie Baugh ever recover from being at the center of one of the biggest parental scandals in celebrity history? And most importantly, how will Sunday Rose navigate a world where the truth she thought she knew was turned upside down? The answers are still unfolding, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single twist if you want to stay ahead of every shocking revelation, every leaked document, and every viral clip from this scandal. Hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to Lumi Legacy. We're here to bring you the stories nobody else will, the truths Hollywood wishes stayed hidden, and all the drama you crave unfiltered, uncut, and absolutely explosive. Stay tuned, because with Nicole Kidman leading this charge, the next chapter is guaranteed to be even bigger.